Hello there and welcome to the Midday News with me, Sabena Izuku. The chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, Atahiru Jega, says the fire that gutted the commission warehouse at the weekend will not affect the March 28 and April 11th elections. Speaking during a town hall meeting, Jega disclosed that the materials that were affected were those of the 2011 and had no connections with the 2015 elections. He maintained that the fire was as a result of spark from the distribution panel when power was restored to the area.
Saturday night, there was a fire outbreak in our central store here in Abuja. This is a common thing that many people are aware. There was no general electricity, and when they brought back the light, there was a spark in one of the distribution panels. And that distribution panel caught fire, and it was around 11 p.m. at night. But we mobilized and got the support of the fire service, and within a period of 1 hour, the fire was controlled. Some 2011 old stock of electoral materials, primarily handbags for election officials and envelopes, were destroyed. No material relating to the preparations for the 2015 general elections was affected in the fire incidents. And that was why, in order to minimize speculation, we ourselves, Sunday morning, contacted the media and informed them. Nobody knew that this had happened, but we contacted them, notified them, organized a tour where we showed them this is what happened, this is the extent of the damage. It has not affected any preparation for the 2015 general election, and that was the opportunity they had to take photographs. But still, some of them have gone ahead to make sensational reporting out of it. But I can assure you that it was unfortunate that happened. You know, it was contained. Some materials were destroyed, but there were 2011 excess materials that had not been cleared out of the store. Even that, it was minimal. And it therefore has no effect on the 2015 preparations for the election.
Away from that, the members of the National Coordinating Council of the Odua's People Congress, OPC, the highest ruling body of the organization, have dissociated themselves from the group described as shameful, destructive, violent and reactionary activities of the Gani Adams-led faction of the Odua's people. They said what was witnessed today in Lagos was the highest level of political violence sponsored and funded by the certain elements in the Jonathan government, maintaining that Gani Adams is on his own and does not enjoy the support of a large size of their membership spread across the country. The members accuse Adams of unleashing terror on innocent citizens, saying it is not a people-oriented advocacy. They asserted that the Yorubas are politically sophisticated people and would simply ignore opportunists like Gani Adams, renouncing him and his activities who were against the larger Yoruba interest. They, however, called on Yorubas to be vigilant politically at this time, concluding that Nigeria needs a new leadership, a new direction, and a country that works. The People's Democratic Party Presidential Campaign Organization has meanwhile said no amount of cynicism by the All Progressive Congress, APC, can undo the achievements of President Goodluck Jonathan during his first term in office. It said in a statement signed by spokesman Femi Fani-Kayode that under the Jonathan administration, power generation went beyond 4,500 megawatts mark from the 2,550 megawatts he inherited. The campaign team noted that the Jonathan-led government is partnering the global electricity leader General Electric in order to achieve a target of 15,000 megawatts capacity by 2020. On agriculture, the PDP recalled that the Food and Agriculture Organization, FAO, formally presented Nigeria with an award for achieving the Millennium Development Goal on hunger 3 years ago, ahead of the 2015 target dates set for the Millennium Development Goals. It also pointed out that it took the government only 60 days to bring about a total revolution in Nigeria's fertilizer distribution system. Away from that, the All Progressive Congress presidential campaign team says Nigerians are still struggling to cope with fuel shortage in many parts of the country aside from Lagos and Abuja. This, it claims, that has led to near paralysis of socio-economic activities in most parts of the northern Nigerian east, southeast and southwest. Deputy Director General of the Campaign Council, Olorunimbe Mamora, said at a news conference in Abuja that fuel price in these places range from 110 to 150 naira. He argued that the government has failed to meet the yearnings of Nigerians on an availability.
From the reports we gathered across the states in Nigeria, a liter of petrol is selling in Aba at 110 naira. In Benin, it is selling at 150 naira. In Uyo, a liter is selling at NNPC mega station at 97 naira, while other privately owned fuel stations are selling at 110 naira per liter. In Kaduna and other states, the scarcity is biting harder as petrol is selling above 120 naira with long queues. In Port Harcourt and southeastern states, a liter of petrol sells between 130 naira and 150 naira, just as it is selling above 100 naira in Ado-Ekiti and Akure. This is the sorry state of our country today. A major crude oil producing country depends on massive importation of refined petroleum products to meet local consumption.
Away from that, the All Progressive Congress says it has uncovered a plot by the administration of President Goodluck Jonathan and the People's Democratic Party to render card readers ineffective on Election Day. It says this move is to justify the affairs about the use of the card reader and ultimately to scuttle the polls. The allegation was contained in the statement made by the APC National Publicity Secretary Lai Mohammed in Lagos. Lai insists that he can authoritatively inform Nigerians that the morbid fear of card readers by the administration and the PDP has now been translated into concrete actions as the PDP has hired an Israeli Giora beggar to do the dirty job of jamming the card readers. The party added that the Israeli was hired specifically to develop 3 prototype card reader jammers, which he has accomplished, developing 3 of such jammers, 25 meters, 50 meters, and 100 meters range, to be carried in the pockets of trusted PDP stalwarts on Election Day with a view to disabling the card readers within the state radius. It also says apart from disabling the card readers, the jammers would also disable all telephones, iPads and devices within the state's radius of those carrying them on their persons. The APC equally alleged that an order had been placed for 75,000 pieces of the jammers at a cost of $200 per piece, bringing the total cost to $15 million. APC claimed the jammers will be air freighted to Nigeria next week. You're watching the Media News. We'll take a short break, and when we return, it continues. Do stay with us.
From time immemorial, women have birthed life, shaped character, and by extension, influenced the society. Moremi of Ife, Emoten of Benin, Queen Aminat of Zaria, all women of influence and power.
Whether it's before election, after election.
How ironical. Women being so powerful, yet have few grounds in decision making.
They see you as a wife, and I see you as a wife to a man.
We are talking women in politics.
A woman will be bold enough to stand up and say, I want to become president of Nigeria.
Only on CoreTV News.
Welcome back to the Media News. For more information, you can reach us on our social media platform, and that's on facebook.com/CoreTV News, and on our Twitter handle @CoreTV News NG. For news updates and other programs, you can stream us live on youtube.com/CoreTV with a space and the news. The chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, Atahiri Jega, says that the fire that gutted the Commission's warehouse at the weekend will not affect the March 28th and the April 11th elections. Speaking during a town hall meeting, Jega disclosed that the materials that were affected were those of 2011 and had a connection with the 2015 elections, and maintained that the fire was as a result of a spark from the distribution panel when the power was restored to the area. INEC chairman assured Nigerians that election materials are intact and will be deployed at the appropriate time for the elections. Nigerian troops have forced out Boko Haram insurgents from their last stronghold in Yobe State. Defense headquarters said through its Twitter feed that soldiers reclaimed Guniri on Monday morning. The latest breakthrough came a few days after the military flushed out insurgents from Adamawa State. And away from that, the local members of the Fulani social cultural group Miyetti Allah have accused the national leadership of the group of extorting money from the government officials in exchange for support for President Goodluck Jonathan's re-election bid. They made the allegations against the backdrop of the assurance of the national president of the group that he would mobilize support for the president. Some members of the Miyetti Allah said at a news conference in Abuja that no single individual can decide for all its members.
We know where we are heading to, we know our problem, and we are now trying to see that we solve our problems. I don't see a reason whereby somebody will come to you and tell you that the entire Fulani of Nigerians are voting for PDP or they are voting for one party. You have to think twice. There is no how you can leave your brother or your biological brother to go for somebody.
Civil defense staff of Nigeria, Chad, and Niger have resolved to establish a structure for joint planning to enhance ongoing counter-terrorism operations in the northeast. However, with a view to consolidate on the successes so far achieved as well as accelerate the tempo of operations. The defense chair from the 3 West African countries also resolved to establish a joint operation, headquarters pending any other structure being put in place at the regional and international organization level. Spokesman for the Defense Headquarters, Major General Chris Olukolade, said in a statement that the modified arrangement is to enhance operational and tactical coordination as well as synchronized command and communication in the field. It says the structure will also operate in cognizance of the existing bilateral and multilateral documents and understanding among the countries. The meeting also resolved to enhance correct reportage of ongoing counter-terrorism operations. And away from that, the Tribunal of Inquiry set up to investigate the cause of the violence that paralyzed commercial and human activities on the Ikorodu Road following the accident that led to the killing of the cyclist soldiers, has submitted its report recommending that the military should apologize to the state government and all Lagosians. The chairman of the Tribunal of Inquiry, Ebenezer Adebajo, says that while submitting reports of the panel to Governor Babatunde Fashola at the Lagos House Ikeja, Abiola Oluwole completes the rest of the story.
The violence that trailed the death of a cyclist soldier as a result of an accident involving the military officer and a station black bus in July 2014 at Palm Grove bus stop along Ikorodu Road left behind vandalization of BRT buses and harassment of residents who tried to record the incident on the camera of their phones. Worried at the violence, the Lagos State government set up a tribunal of inquiry chaired by retired Justice Ebenezer Adebajo. Tasks given to the tribunal of inquiry included unraveling the immediate and remote causes of the incident. After several sittings and submission of evidences by affected parties in the violence, the chairman of the inquiry recommended that the military should tender an apology for the incident. Adebajo also blamed the operators of the lag bus for abandoning the vehicle that caused the accident on the road after it was left with no fuel.
The Nigerian Army should, on behalf of the 9th Brigade Ikeja Cantonment, apologize in writing to the people of Lagos State, and the apology should be published in at least 2 national newspapers. In order to reduce the constant friction between the military and bus operators, the state government should inform the military authority of the need to constantly remind its personnel of state laws, in particular the BRT regulations, and the necessity to obey them.
After collecting the report, Fashola promised the implementation of the recommendations of the tribunal after the deliberations of the State Executive Council.
We will learn from this, but not only do we expect to learn from this, I assure you that we will act on the recommendations that are ultimately acceptable to government. As you know, this will have to go through council deliberations and debates, and in the process a white paper will be issued.
Analysts, however, say the state government should ensure measures that will prevent recurrence of such an incident in future.
And away from that, let's take some judicial story at Abuja, where a Federal Capital Territory High Court sitting in Gudu was on Monday thrown into commotion following a failed attempt by the operators of the Economic and Financial Crisis Commission to arrest the former presidential candidate, Emmanuel Okereke. Okereke and one Ishmael Chinyere are being prosecuted by the EFCC for offences bordering on impersonation, forgery and criminal conspiracy amounted to the tune of 1,145,000 naira. They are also accused of occupying false public offices as Director General and Director FCT Command of the National Task Force on Small Weapons. At the resumed hearing of the case, Justice Abubakar Talba adjourned till the 4th of May due to the absence of main prosecution witness. The EFCC operators consequently attempted to arrest me.
Invite me, write to me, I will come. If you give it to me here, even if you do it on pages of paper, I will go with you.
We don't want to make the violent situation. That's why I have to tell you. We have an issue.
For you,
come and let us have your
no, there's no issue. If the issue, somebody.
All of them will leave.
No,
all of them
somebody
only will leave. All of them. That's why I have come personally.
So somebody
between only me and you.
Yes, somebody must written a petition. If somebody written a petition, you will invite me and say, come and defend this petition. You invite me, say, come and defend the allegation against me. I will come and clear it. You have
not been earlier invited?
Nobody. I spoke to my life. Nobody.
This is something very strange.
No invitation, no telephone call, no nothing.
You can just consider this.
If you talk nonsense, shut up.
The matter today was lettered down for hearing. By hearing, I mean the prosecutor, that's EFCC, is to field their witness, lead them in chief. At the end of the day, the defense will cross-examine. But the prosecutor sought an adjournment on the ground that he had not been able to meet with the IPO, who really did. The IPO was the person, according to him, who dealt with the matter. This is a matter of 2012. For him to come to court and table before the court that is yet to have a pre-trial meeting with the IPO. The court, of course, discountenanced such ground for adjournment and then only adjourned the matter based on the fact that the court felt that he said he had some other additional proof of evidence he intends to file. So court was like, okay, let me give you leave to do that. And not on the ground that you've not been able to meet with your witness who you were supposed to have seen since 2012. So adjournment was granted on that ground. And for us, the defense, it didn't go down well with us. We were not happy because we are desirous of having the matter expeditiously dealt with.
U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry and his Iranian counterpart have resumed talk on nuclear program. There's more on this after the break. To stay with us.
You can now watch CoreTV News live from anywhere in the world on our website. www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
And welcome to CoreTV Primetime Days.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. And Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click CoreTV, leave a space, then news. CoreTV News, a 24-hour news station.
Welcome back to the media news. And outside Nigeria, U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry and his Iranian counterpart Mohammad Javad Zarif resumed nuclear talks on Monday in the Swiss city of Lausanne to try to narrow gaps before the March 31st deadline for the political agreement. The meeting included U.S. Secretary of Energy Enes Moniz and Iran's nuclear chief Ali Akbar Salehi, who also met on Sunday to negotiate technical details on how to curb Iran's nuclear program. Kerry has urged Iran to make concessions that would allow 6 world powers to reach a political framework agreement for a nuclear deal with Tehran that would lift sanctions in exchange for curbs on the Tehran's nuclear program. The parties have set a June 30th deadline to finalize an accord. Iran and major powers will meet this week in Lausanne, but the date has not been announced yet. And that's it on the midday news. Do join us at the top of the hour for more. I am Sabana Izuku, and thank you very much indeed for watching.